the spring of 1981, I had never met a professional photographer. And then on that day, I finally met Leonard Falce.
Fall of 1957, Len came to town driving a Triumph TR3 and was cool as all get out. He would shoot so quickly, see so many things, that he would kind of leave you behind in a cloud of dust. And of course, a lot of that was from his days at United Press in both New York and Madison, Wisconsin, where he just had to turn out work really, really fast. His photography was like a breath of fresh air, because most of the photographers were still using 4x5s, but still the 35mm was on the horizon, and anybody that mastered it really came up with some great pictures that you couldn't do with 4x5s. So. One of the things that he photographed was the Winona fire. We were both called out that morning very early when the fire first started. He photographed a lot of the rescues, and in '64, Terry McDermott won the only gold medal that the U.S. won at Winter Olympics. And Len and sports editor Mike Sturm flew to Chicago to meet him and to beat out the local TV stations when he landed. And I remember seeing some of the pictures where he was showing his gold medal to some of the flight attendants and some of the people on board the plane, and then they flew back to Bay City so that they could be there ahead of the TV station.
You know, what he talked about was, you know, anybody can take a picture, but few people can really capture moments, and it was always, I mean, that was the thing that he pounded into just about any of the interns, was like, you got to capture the moment. You got to be able to tell the story. You know, this was his town, and for so many years he told the story of the town. He told the story of the people here. The picture, I think, that epitomizes his work is that portrait of Elvis.
Anyone who shot Elvis, in my book, was the coolest photographer ever.
Yeah.
And that he didn't just shoot Elvis, he shot extremely cool pictures of Elvis. So you have this great, amazing portrait of Elvis, and Elvis is so young that he still has pimples on his face. But that one was sharp enough to shoot that classic detail of Elvis's gold lame shoes. I had 4 internships, and it was by far the most, it was by far the best learning experience of anyone that I had, without a doubt. And a lot of that, I think, is due to Leonard. So he became a role model for me personally, and probably about, and I'm not joking, 40 or 50 other young photojournalists that came after me to the Bay City Times.
Leonard was wonderful. Leonard was fantastic. He had so much energy, so much charisma, and he went a mile a minute. He was all over. He's a tall, skinny New Yorker, and you know, transplanted somewhere here in Bay City in this beautiful old carriage house, and his adorable wife and their dog, and they would take you in, and but then you knew you had to do right by him. You couldn't just turn in schlock, because no, this is no good. He'd go on this rant for like 10 minutes, and you would realize, oh yeah, I didn't do this photo at all well.
I was his first intern at the Bay City Times, and I think I was his second choice, but I was the one that got the internship, and it was fabulous, you know, and it was mainly because of Leonard. And Leonard didn't have to go to the New York Times, or he didn't have to go to, you know, some big paper, and I think I carried that too. I had a lot of chances to go bigger papers, but I always saw Dick, you know, Wes and Leonard. And Leonard, you know, taught me you can make good pictures anywhere. And again, you can have a life and hobbies and passion and you know, have time for that. You don't have to work all the time.